All right. We have 80 people, so I ended the intro. Hello, guys.
Hello, Boris. I'm just checking. Telegram is already done.
Telegram, Discord.
Can you share it as well in the Telegram channel?
Yes.
The
Yes, I'll do that.
I never know. Is it channel the word? I don't know
Channel,
how it's
yeah.
called.
It's like the announcements channel.
We have a couple of questions.
Already questions coming in
W-
about aggregation mode.
Yeah, we got spammed in the first minute. We will answer in a bit. Okay, let's wait a little more. We're here with Mauro and Diego in our office in Uruguay, in Montevideo. They came to visit me. Make sure I don't freeze to death because for some reason this is the I think the coldest winter day I remember uh, in this area. Um, at least with Mauro, we're not spending a good time. Diego is like hardcore winter guy, so he doesn't care. Uh, but it's too cold today. Almost like in some areas in Argentina, apparently it's snowing,
Wow.
which is not that common in the middle north part of the country.
Yeah, I have the opposite problem. We have a heat wave in Toronto and also I think most of the northeast United States. And with the humidity, it feels like 40 degrees, I think.
No, 40 degrees.
It's hot. It's too hot. I'd rather this than too cold. Like 40 degrees is better than minus 10, in my opinion. So, but it's yeah, different problems.
Cool. And we have 131. I think we can start. So, hi everyone. If you notice my voice is a little weird, it's because of this very winter, very extreme winter season that we're having. So, hope you don't bully me and you can understand what I'm saying. This week, as always, we'll have Mauro first starting with the engineering update. Then we'll explain a few things of what we're working on. There's some stuff that we cannot share yet. And also, we'll talk about TCC, that we're going to spend a few days there, GANs. And I think in general, we can give our opinion on some topics that people are discussing in crypto. We can talk about stablecoins for a bit and privacy. And that's it. And we didn't have any very big important news last week, more than that we share more in detail our roll-up as a service platform, and we share that with the community, and we'll be doing more of those type of vlogs in the future. So maybe Boris, you can talk at the end about that. But Mauro, if you want, you can start by talking about the engineering team.
So my camera died again, right? So give me a second. It's alright. Here, I'm back. Anyways, yes. Let me find the blog post that we did that has the updates. So if not, I can go on with it, but it will be very practical to have it there. Okay. Just 1 second, and here we go. And I will share my screen. We can have some support. All right. So in the previous weeks, we have been working mostly on examples to build on top of a line that the user can interact, like games with clients, like proving, some ML stuff. We put a bit on hold, like the machine learning stuff, because we were waiting for some patches that we need on the provers. We might go back to that after they are done. Right now, one of the applications is on the sticky part is done. Like we are fixing a little bit the flow. So we have a game that is really, I think it's quite fun and simple to play. And it's not a puzzle like we showed before. So yeah, we are already running it and proving it. We hope everybody enjoys as soon as we launch it. And along with that, now we are working on the contracts, tuning it a little bit for it to have a smoother experience. We're also integrating Circom. We finished the engineering work, but we need to review the PRs and make sure that everything is working. This will be only for Grok 16. So if you have any programming using Grok 16 on Circom, you will be able to use it to use it with a line and verify the proofs and then use the data in Ethereum. The other things that we did are some fixes, but they are mostly some minor documentation stuff for the aggregation mode and for the fast mode. I know, like, do you want me to go a little bit deeper, maybe in something, Boris or Shay? Like, do that. We were also talking with clients, well, potential clients. Not sure like how public is that, but it's helping us to define the requirements for our modes. Right now, well, we have some set of applications with some requirements that didn't care about, for example, latency, but they care a lot about cost. Now we're seeing people that may require low latency. Yeah, that might need for us to do some work, but we have a good design on the rich mode, so I'm confident that we can deliver whatever they need.
Yeah, to add what Mauro is saying about this, the people that are trying to integrate with Align, uh, we're talking with different teams. The one that requires more like low latency, we are still waiting for them to share us exactly the requirements they need. And it's people that we have partnered with them last year, and now they're in a more advanced stage for actually trying to use this in mainnet. In particular, just for the aggregation mode and or the proof verification layer or fast mode. So we are talking with them, trying to understand. In many of these cases, it's also not just us offering the infrastructure, but also talking to them and understanding how we can help them. Because it's not just, hey, send us proofs here. It's, hey, you are working with a new design for your system. Share us how it works. Let us give you some feedback. We can tell you if what we have today will work well, or if we need to modify anything in particular. So I think we were really excited about that. Probably in the next few weeks, we will continue moving forward those conversations. And one of them is more in the infrastructure side of projects, and the other one more in AI. And I'm really excited about that. I think we can do some really cool demos, and we'll show with our community many of these things. But yeah, that is just time and talking with them and understanding the requirements or needs. The system is already working, and people are like, what happened also is CK is moving so fast that now all of these teams are like in a point of saying, okay, we can start working with our new designs using CK today. Last year, it was still a little new for many of them. And now many teams who did not have CK expertise can start developing stuff in CK because they're using Week 0, SP1, or many of the new CK VMs. And that was part of our thesis, and it's becoming true. So we're really happy that these people are already talking with us and trying to move forward with the integrations. And the other thing, someone asked here, Mauro, why can I not see the comments? No, yeah, here. Horowan asked, when aeration service mainnet? We can put, I didn't know that we could do this. It's very cool. I mean, the aeration mode is still being worked on. I don't know if Mauro, if you want to share like a very quick summary of what's the latest stage of where it is, how if it's fully separated now from the fast mode or where is it?
Yes. On the cryptography side, I think it's on. Like it needs to do some audits, but it should be quite solid. It's not much code. So the main cryptographical part of the protocol is on. With that, I think after some audits, we could put on mainnet. Shouldn't be a problem. Then there is a discussion of like improving the overall system. One of the things is that it is a little bit coupled with the fast mode, so you cannot in right now just use the aggregation mode. You have to use the fast mode and the aggregation mode. That brings you to some issues of economical incentives that we might need to tune to tune it a little bit, because we have some capacity for aggregation mode and we can reserve, but it's not fully independent from our side. I would like to have something like where people subscribe, maybe pay let's say $20 per month or something like that, and they can send up to 100 proofs per month or up to 1,000. Like, forget all the numbers don't matter. I haven't done any calculations, so they are not very relevant. But I think that system is probably going to be a little bit better for the users than the old system. Then it makes more sense for the fast mode of paying per proof. Or the thing is, in the fast mode, we are taking in consideration the verification layer, the case where the user needs very, very, very low latency. In the aggregation mode up until now, like most of the users didn't care about latency, as it is more or less reasonable. So that gives us a little bit more flexibility. And the cost structure of the system is different because it's easier to predict how much you will spend on the aggregation mode because it's mostly servers. It's a cloud of GPUs, and you pay for the GPUs. Costs are more stable, and if you settle a couple of times per day in Ethereum, it doesn't move too much the overall pricing. On the other side, the fast mode is more susceptible to price swings of the gas and the Ethereum. Right? I'm not sure if I'm maybe going too much into the details or say, you tell me. But we could, like, this is not a limitation, but I would like for the user experience to be better. We don't really need to wait for that to have it in mainnet.
Yeah, so the answer is we're close to having the like a first thing that could be mainnet. And many of these things that Mauro is mentioning, as he said, are things that we can improve afterward as well. The important thing to take into account is that many of the things, the problems Mauro is mentioning that he's trying to solve with the team, requires us to understand very well how the people that want to use the aggregation mode and the fast mode work, because it's not like a normal blockchain. It's a service for people that build blockchains or other type of systems. So we, in the sense of how people clients see us, we're more like a SaaS or a platform where people send all of these things. It's not like a normal blockchain where you just send a transaction. So because they have different needs and our infrastructure is different, we can have the flexibility of using a payment system that actually solves the issues they actually have. And the subscription model is better because it's literally that. It's a service where you send your proofs, they get aggregated and they get posted and verified on Ethereum. So they will work and improve and optimize all of these things. The good thing is they can be done after mainnet as well, and we can receive feedback and make sure um, things are cheap and also easy to use.
I wanted to add something, sort of summarizing a few things we just discussed. Like RJ was saying, I mean, for anybody who is interested in using Aligned, who is building with ZK, and even if you're just coming up and brainstorming designs for how ZK can be used in your decentralized apps or different, crypto products, we would love to chat with you. This is how we like to work with our partners. Like the others already said, all of this technology is moving quickly, and we have the flexibility and engineering abilities to make sure that as this develops, we can meet your needs. And that's why we can't announce these partnership details yet, because we're working actively with a few really good teams to make sure that the aggregation mode will meet their specific needs for what they're trying to build. So reach out to us if you do want to discuss using ZK for your things and you're thinking about using Aligned. We're here to really partner with anybody who wants to use Aligned. So don't be shy.
Yeah, exactly. And what I mentioned when we were talking about these partners, I think Mauro and Diego are probably one of the few people in the ecosystem with a lot of experience in these areas. So we are also trying to be like, hey, just talk to us if you want to use CK or trying to understand how you can improve your protocol with this new tech. And we're not also building the infrastructure, but we can tell you if our infrastructure actually is also an issue for you. And if we can give you feedback on the protocol, and then it's up to the team to decide if they want to include our comments or not. And the last thing about engineering or product, someone else is asking about Rogue plus Align Live. Rogue is not something that's going to be built on top of Align. The stack that is being built in order for Rogue to work, that is Ithrex L2, is already is an integration that's already been done by Lambda and Align, and there are still a few things the team is merging and improving, so you can have an L2 that is constantly sending blocks directly to Align. And the whole stack, in order to be for production ready, it will take a couple of more months. But I already spoke with the Ithrex team. I actually spoke with Fed, and he updated me on the Ithrex stuff. They will be publishing a few new benchmarks soon. I don't want to spoil anything, but performance-wise, it's improving a lot, and it's going to be able to have. If this client is using L1 and you want to use L2, you probably will have speeds that are comparable to other like alternative L1s in the market. So it's looking very well. Like it's in a very good spot, and I think it's going to be very interesting for people that want to use this stack. And we're also talking with other teams that are part of us who are interested in using the whole package, the Ithrex plus Aligned thing for their own rollup. Hopefully, we'll have more news on that as well. We already have two non-crypto native companies, actually three non-crypto native companies that are partner of us, and they will use this technology. And we're working now with a few crypto native ones that I was surprised that they were trying to do some roll-up stuff, and they are super interested in talking more. So we're to a point where technology is in a very good spot, and people are like, oh, okay, now I can try it, do this thing on my own. I have an alternative that was not before available in the market. So yeah, the integration is already working, and for mainnet kind of production ready, it will take a little more, but things are looking very well.
Very exciting stuff.
Yeah. Now give me a second that I need to breathe. I have my nose completely attacking me. No, but I wanted to switch topics now, and I don't know if Boris or Mauro or Leon were missing anything on the engineering side. But I think that's all. Like the team is working on the same direction. We have the demos and tutorials. I know the documentation. I think Mauro mentioned it there. The documentation is improving as well. And we'll try to share. Actually, something that we should do this week is share a little more videos of the other games that are being developed. I think we haven't done done it with the other ones. One is called CK Beast. I think that's the name of one of these games. So the team grab a lot of open source games, and we're including them, seeing how we can adapt them to work on directly on top of Aligned. And yeah, that's it in the engineering side. And we are going to work more on the AI thing. There are a lot of things we can use on top of Aligned using AI and CK. I think that's very exciting for many people and for us as well. And we always say, like we said this in the manifesto, and we have been saying this for a long time. We need tools to put like a stop on AI, especially if we're going to use this a lot. This is already the case. I think I use ChatGPT almost as much as my phone, so this is going to be necessary. And then the thing I think we can talk about a little bit, Diego, if you want. I'm switching topics, but maybe you can talk about the BitBM that you have been studying, some Bitcoin stuff. I think that's very unique.
Yeah, no, it's like super interesting because you know that in Bitcoin it's like impossible right now to do stateful computations and everything. So the thing is, how can you build something where you can actually verify CK proofs on top of Bitcoin? And the problem is Bitcoin script is like super limited. So of course people have been thinking of ways of leveraging CK proofs because CK is the only way you can actually scale blockchains. And so yeah, the BitBMs are precisely an attempt to do that. Of course, they have like several like limitations, and in many cases, what people are trying to leverage are optimistic computations. Okay, because running your CK proof on top of Bitcoin would be like super expensive. What you do is something like you run it off chain, you post like some results, and people assume optimistically that you did things right. Of course, what you can do is send the proofs to other people can verify it off chain, and then check whether their results match with yours, and then decide whether they are going to accept or not. And in that case, they have to create a fraud proof. The problem with this approach is first you have to describe your computation as a Boolean circuit. Okay, that's like a lot of work because it's not that you are writing like ordinary code. You are writing like the piece of hardware where it's running. So it's like pretty awful. And it's not like the most efficient thing you can do. And then you have to commit to that circuit. And to do that, you have to use something like Lamport signatures. And that's, again, super expensive. It causes like a massive blow up. And so you get that, I don't know, verifying a GROT16 proof, which is like super short, needs a code that amounts to 3 gigabytes. So imagine that one GROT16 proof is around 1 kilobyte, but to be able to verify it on Bitcoin, you need a script that is 3 gigabytes long. But now they released like the third version that's using garbled circuits, and it looks like super promising. I think it's a matter of time until we can get like CK proofs like really cheap in Bitcoin and efficient. But there are like several teams working on that front. I think that we will have like something ready to share in the coming days.
Yeah, the Bitcoin stuff is moving really fast, and Leo has been studying it, so he can share like some of his learnings, and we can understand if this is something that we can use in the future for our technologies. Like if this advances, why wouldn't we offer many of these things to Bitcoin as well? But that would require the technology to be mature and also understanding if there's a market for it or not. And I think if it gets adopted, it will. Like, I don't see why both Bitcoin and Ethereum cannot be like the main settlement layers. We'll see.
Yeah, the thing is, at least to be able to verify these things really efficiently, maybe you need like some upgrades in Bitcoin, and that's normally uh, a very hot topic, and there are like heavy discussions in Bitcoin. I think it makes sense from their point of view because Bitcoin has a very clear and simple value proposal, everything, and so like being like touching Bitcoin quite often could be seen as not something like very stable. Um, but on the other hand, I think that maybe with some improvements, they could like greatly scale Bitcoin. Maybe there are like some other ways in which we can make this efficient. But well, it takes like some research and everything. I think it's going to be like what happened with CK. At first, we had like inefficient proof systems. Then we got better. Somebody found like something that we could exploit to make things like faster. In this case, was Starks, and then people like started building. So I think Bitcoin has been advancing a lot in that front, uh, and I hope that we can see something like that on Bitcoin. I think, as RJ said, it's important that Bitcoin and Ethereum effectively become like settlement layers in a world where trust is in crisis or under attack.
Yeah. Um, Also, I hope that with this we have better Bitcoin bridges. Hopefully, like I still can't believe we don't have a good way to bridge assets between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Um, so we'll see what happens, and there are very good teams working on many of these things like Citria. Well, Starware is involved. Starware is one of the best teams in crypto in general. And the people from Taproot Wizards, they're not only doing a good job in the technology and discussing stuff, but also mainly in the culture. That is very important if you want like any of these upgrades. Without it, it's going to be impossible. Um, and I think it will be cool. I mean, I love Bitcoin, and I hope we can see some of these things. And many people have the opinion that if Bitcoin adopts this could be detrimental to Ethereum, or it could fight for the same market share. I don't think that's the case. I think when these things happens, like it creates more activity in both places actually, because if this is as good as it's supposed to be, you should be able to have a very good bridge between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that is going to be good for Ethereum and for Bitcoin. It's going to create even more economic activity. So we'll see. I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't think they're fighting for the same piece of pie. I think this is going to open even more because there's a lot of Bitcoin whales that they don't move their assets anywhere. They just have it in Sapo or other custodial with their stuff. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for them to start moving their Bitcoin and provide more liquidity. And if you provide more liquidity, you can lower the interest rates for many of the things, and that is usually better for the whole ecosystem. So we'll see. At least I'm excited, and I think it's going to be good for everyone. And I would love to see a Bitcoin L2. I would use it. So I think it will be great. And I know Mauro is having problems with the camera, but I know he would love to see a Bitcoin L2 as well. I know him, and at least everyone in our team is also very Ethereum and Bitcoin oriented. So we'll see. And the other topic I wanted to talk about is um, privacy and stablecoins. I saw many teams. I don't know if everyone is aware of this, but there are many teams working on like stablecoin infrastructure. But I think 99% of them are just pure smoke because it's people trying to raise money because the hot topic is stablecoins. But there are a couple of teams that are doing something interesting, which it makes sense. Like if stablecoins are going to be used a lot, why wouldn't you build infrastructure is focused on serving stablecoins for payments, all of these things? That it should be the same infrastructure if you want to use ETH for payments. Like there's no difference. And there are a couple of teams working and trying to solve these issues with privacy. That probably is the next big bottleneck in the adoption of stablecoins. because if you want to buy a coffee, why would you want everyone to know if you buy a matcha latte or a flat white? Or if you go and buy an ice cream, you don't want Diego to judge you and know to which ice cream place you want to. So if that is the case, privacy is going to be a thing. Like people, when they use Visa, it's private. Like for your day-to-day stuff, it's important. If you're an institution, you're a company, privacy is also a great add-on, but you can work on it. Like if you need to pay a vendor or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. It is more a big of a deal if you're a very big institution and you want to trade with privacy in dark pools. That's different. But if you want this technology to get adopted even more, the next frontier is privacy, and there are a lot of compliance and KYC issues that are around it. But we spoke with a company that they're doing a private stablecoin. They're using SP1. Hopefully, we can continue the conversation with them. And yeah, they found a very interesting way of making sure people could use stablecoin. They build their own stablecoin, their stablecoin with privacy for building applications or payments. And I think we'll see even more of this. And especially now that the tech is improving, there's more people going to play around with it. Like if Noir keeps improving, if SP1, Rick0, all of these get easier to use, we'll see more product-oriented people, more Maiden. But with Maiden, I haven't seen anyone that is not Maiden using it for outside their infrastructure yet. So yeah, I think it will. It's going to be a very good thing. And yes, Maiden is interesting. Hopefully, with Align, we can do something with Maiden. I think it will be very cool. It's a company that we value a lot internally, and I know Mauro and Diego have really good opinions on them and the team. And we'll see. I know, Diego, if you want to say anything about Maiden.
No, just they are an excellent team, and they did a very good, cool design on the privacy part. So yeah, at some point, I think it would be cool if we could like use some of the things they have been developing or do something together. Uh, but let's see. First, we have to finish other stuff. If not, Mauro is going to kill us if we keep adding things so soon. But we have lots of ideas always.
A little plug on the Maiden topic for anyone listening who wants to learn more. I, on one of our aligned guest streams, hosted Paul Henry, who is leading DevRel at Maiden, and we had a really fun chat about privacy and all the stuff they're working on. So you can check that out on YouTube if you want to learn some more.
Yes, and I think, Diego, you did way back then some blog post about Maiden in Lambda class, right? At least about the VM, for sure.
Yeah, no. We did work, but we never did something on the latest design of their architecture, which is really cool. I think that um, the agent model they have, everything is like um, super cool. I think it's good that you can get like both private and public state. That gives you like a lot of flexibility. So yeah, I am excited to see people using some of these ideas to build real products.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I think we covered a lot of things. Um, we will try to have more news. I know, Boris, I don't think you have a guest this week for the community call.
I think actually that just got confirmed. That I guess I can announce it now. It's fine. On Wednesday, I'll be hosting some folks from Giza, and they are working on ZKML stuff, AI agent stuff, very interesting things. We'll announce it properly tomorrow, but you guys listening get some alpha right now. So yeah, that should be a really fun one on Wednesday. They're doing really cool work. We really like the team. Yeah, and I also wanted to mention some of the other content that we're working on, blog posts and explainers that are related to everything we're building. One of those will be an article on based and ZK rollups, which is directly relevant to our rollup as a service platform. And I think we realize that a lot of people still don't fully understand the value proposition behind this, and we want to explain why this is something we, in particular, want to support. So stay tuned for that. If you're working on based rollups, we'd love to chat with you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is to have more content explaining why, like, I think I have been mentioning the last couple of weeks, and this is killing me, having my nose completely blocked. But we want to express more, like explain more why we made certain decisions. And for that, we need to explain the technology and also how that affects business or product-oriented stuff. For example, trying to offer base rollups or an native interoperability protocol as well. We'll have both. And it is important from a business point of view. It's not just like, hey, it's very cool to have or solve this issue. It's like people that want to use Ethereum that are not on Ethereum today, they want the liquidity of Ethereum, but they need scalability as well. So if that's the case, you need a solution like this. It's not just nerdy stuff. It's like actually offering a feature that people want. People want to build on top of Ethereum because they want to access the security of Ethereum and the liquidity of Ethereum. Therefore, you need to build a roll-up solution that offers access to those of these things. And I think that's it. I don't know if guys, anyone wants to add anything else. Okay, Boris, I think we can end the stream here. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you next week. We'll be in Cannes, right, Boris?
Yeah. Next week will be in Cannes. We'll probably do a short little update maybe, or we might skip next week. I guess we'll decide. But yeah, if you're in Cannes and you want to talk to us about all the things we're building, let us know. All of us will be there, plus a few others from the team. So
Yeah, no, from the beach. We can do like a light session from there.
No, my only concern is one, the European Wi-Fi, and two, the heat. So we'll see if we can do it. Hopefully we can do it. I think it. Yeah, we will try to do it for sure because I don't want to miss any week. We have been doing it for 19 weeks on a row, so we shouldn't end it here.
Yeah, but okay. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Yeah.
you.